Alright, what's up YouTube? Today's video is, you know what? I don't even know. We're just gonna go off the fly. We're gonna call it How to Not Suck at Guitar. Um, it's a harsh title for, just the concept that I wanted to share with you guys regarding playing over the chords. All experienced musicians, they have developed over the years. Like, you often ask people, how long have you played guitar for? How long have you been practicing guitar? And the really good guitar players will say, like, oh, I've been playing for 10 years, I've been playing for 5 years. And you have to understand, like, what is it about the time that passes that makes you better at guitar? Yes, you get technically comfortable with scales, you get more experienced musically, you listen to more music, you hang out with other musicians, you become familiar with terms like timbre and rhythm, and you learn all the technical stuff. But an important part of developing in your musical career is understanding the concept of feel and flow and knowing where to place notes that pass through time. If you think of music, it's really you're taking creative control by expressing a note over the constant of time. It's like you're painting over time. And in order to paint over time, we want to do so in a way that goes with the rhythm of what we're playing over, because we exist in a context, right? Our context is, in the musical sense, other players and our audience and the instruments and the tone that we choose. But in another sense, it's also the notes that we choose to land on. And experienced guitar players seem to have this ability to translate a well-felt and tuned sense of let me find a good word for this, just sense of feel to land over this in time. So it's like a big it's a big idea. It's hard to even get out in words, but what this functionally means is that the big all-encompassing idea of guitar playing is that we're really filling in notes over chords in time. And so the focus of today's lesson, video, discussion is going to be landing on good notes. That's the whole point of music, is like you exist in the context of the bigger piece of music and the bigger harmonies and chords that are going on around you. And thus, we got to know where to land our notes. So for guitar players, that means, okay, we're going to play chords. Let's say we're going to solo. We're not just soloing over a random key. We're not just going to play whatever we want. We're going to play over those chords. And so I guess that's the talk of today's lesson. And we can go over this with like a few examples, but let me play a little chord progression. Let's see. I'm on the spot now. Yeah, I'm kind of nervous, but but let's see what we can do with just a few chords. Let's play in the key of E minor, everybody's favorite key. And I'm gonna see where do I want to go with this. Let's play E minor, and then let's play the 1. Let's go to the minor third of E minor. Let's use those 3 chords. It's going to be E minor. I'm going to play the minor third diatonically. That chord happens to be a G major. And then I'm going to play the flat 7 chord of E minor, and that's going to be a D major. So let's experiment with this, and we'll talk about it after, but just listen to where I'll try take this, Hopefully I don't make too many mistakes. So if you notice what I did there, oh my God, the sun's shining, it really wants to help us here. If you notice what I did there, we started off with chords, we started off with a chord progression. So I told you I'm gonna play the E, I'm gonna play the minor third, and then I'm gonna play the flat 7. So those are 3 chords in our diatonic key. Now if you don't know that, it's totally okay, but the point is that we're at least aware of the notes that of the chords we're playing, regardless of if it's like an E or a third or a 7. We know we're playing an E minor, we know we're playing a G major, and we know we're playing a D major over here. If you notice what I did in my playing, I quickly went from playing chords to playing melody over the chords, but you could still hear the chords passing. And that's the whole idea of a really good guitar player. It's not entirely clear how to do this, and it takes a lifetime to get it right. There's like a certain felt ability that you don't have to think anymore when you do it. Like, for example, if you see John Frusciante playing Scar Tissue, like, he totally knows where the good notes are in his chords that are passing, which happen to be a D minor and a C. So let's give that example now. So that's what John Frusciante is playing over, and in his solos, he knows exactly where to land. So if we're talking about landing, let's help. Hopefully this video will help you know where to land better. So I'm assuming for this video, we kind of talked about it in other videos, but I'm assuming for this one, you know your diatonic chord shapes, right? Like if I tell you to play an E minor on the A string, you know to play this. And if I tell you to play a G, you know to play this here, and a D over here like this. So let's focus on those kind of shapes. Let's do A rooted this week, and then next week we'll learn to play it on the E string rooted like here. This week we're gonna do it on the A string. So the first part of playing over the changes is being aware of the changes. So we know the chords before we're gonna play. We already covered that, we know what the chords are. And then the next part is landing on good notes. So what is a good note? What the hell is a good note? A good note is in the diatonic triad, it's the 1, the 3, or the 5. In a minor chord, we have the root, we have a minor third, and we have a 5th. So let's go over that quickly. We have this E shape here. We're on the 7th fret of the A string rooted here. You guys know how to play this chord. So let's find our good notes on here. So I know I have a 5th above. I know I have the root. Okay, if I count 1, 2, 3, 3 semitones away is my 3rd. Right here. And then I know I have a 5th like here, like a power chord. And I have the octave here on the G string. And I know I have a minor 3rd here. And I know I have a 5th here. And I know I have a root here. So I'm not going to show you where all the good notes are because I'm assuming you know kind of where they would be on the fretboard. But we can just try to find the 1, the flat 3rd, and the 5th. So I'll show you the shape. In a minor chord, it's always in this pattern. So it's above here. This is the 5th. The root. 3 semitones away is the 3rd. The 5th here, like a power chord. On the 7th fret. The octave on the 7th fret. The minor 3rd's here. And the 5th's here. Sorry. And that's the root again. Sorry if this sounds complicated, but it's just an idea. Even if you don't digest all of it, it will help you. It will help you eventually. Okay, so that's a minor chord. We know the next chord in our progression is a G major over here. So we're now on the 10th fret of the A string. We're gonna play that shape there. I taught you last week in inversions how to play that. So let's find our good notes here. So the same thing, we have a 5th above the G, always. When you have an A rooted chord, the 5th's always above on the E string here, so. Okay, and we know this is a major chord, so we're looking for a major 3rd, not a minor 3rd. So the major 3rd's always 1 behind on the D string. Sounds so beautiful. Sounds so beautiful, huh? And then we have a 5th here, like a power chord. We have the root again, same place on the G string. Then the major 3rd is here. And the 5th is here. So it's... And again, even if you don't get exactly where these shapes are, you can look at a chord chart. Like that's something you can do in your own time and figure it out. But just be aware that there's good notes in the chord. The 1, 3, and the 5 is what we're trying to land on. And we're trying to land on them at the right time. That's the whole idea. We're going to try to land on the good notes at the right time. So now comes the cool part. When we're playing a chord progression in a specific key, in this case we're playing in E minor, in the key of E minor, we're playing the chord progression, we know the chords, and we know the good notes and where they are in each chord. By the way, the good notes of the D major can be found in exactly the same spots as where I showed you on the G major, just over here. Now the fun part comes in where there's no clear instruction on how to do this. This is the part that takes guitar players like 10 years to figure out, how to sound really good passing in time. And that's playing creative licks that land on the good notes in time. That's like the whole big idea. Let's play licks that land on the good notes in time. So let's just try it, like super simply go through this. Let's play through the chord progression again so we have a sense of time. You can sit with your guitar and try to jam with me. So I landed back on the root there. And I dropped my pick into the abyss. Don't worry, I got it. Good, it didn't lose. So let's try to experiment with chords. So in this case, let's target thirds. So I'm gonna pretend the chord's going. Let's start with that lick. And then let's go bend to the major third of the G. And then we can get creative and use another good note to come to the D chord. So let's think about the D chord. We have two licks already that we're going to use over the E minor and the G. Might help us to loop it. Give me 1 sec, I'm going to loop it. Alright, so we got the loop going in the background. Let's come up with creative ways to get from the E to the G. So what we're doing there is we targeted the minor third of the E and we targeted the major third of the G by bending up. Let's find a way to play over the D chord now. I know the good notes of D are so let's try to find a way to incorporate that using the same lick. So what I did there is I chose to play the 5th of the D, this note here, the 5th on the E string. Let's try again. So notice how we targeted the 5th on the D here. Wait for the D to come. The 5th of the D sounds good over the D chord. Coincidentally, I could find the 5th of the D chord right here. The 10th fret of the B. So let's play over this chord progression using just the B string. to the G. Now let's find another way to play over the D chord, the last chord in passing. Let's target the major third of the D chord. So we know it's over here. The major third of the D chord is the second of the E chord. Now let's play this whole chord progression on one string. Wait for it to go around. So now that we targeted in thirds, let's try play the whole progression on the G string. Let's play with roots. So we'll play the root of E, the root of G, and the root of D. Let's try. Let's wait for it to come around. Now let's mix the thirds. And now to spice things up even more, let's now add in extra notes from E minor as we play the thirds of the chord on the B string again. Now to the the G, to the D. Now the roots. Now let's try something different. Let's play the fifths of the chord. Let's go to the D string and play the fifths of each passing chord. So we know they are here because we know our power chords. On the E, when we play the E, when we're playing the fifth, give it a half tone bend. Try that. Let's play the thirds now, but this time on the A string. So I know I have an E here. 3 semitones away is my minor third. On the G, my major third is here. On the 14th fret, and on my D, the major chord's here on the 7th. So let's try. One more time. Here we go. So on the next combo, let's play thirds and the fifth together on the B string and the E string. My minor third of E is here. That's the fifth. I have a major third here. So now let's play the roots and the thirds on the G string and the B string. Here's my root. Here. And now I'm just gonna freestyle. I'm gonna go as complicated as I can to give you the idea of landing on fifths, roots, and ones. And I'm gonna play the natural minor scale of E. Turn this off and I'll say goodbye. Alright y'all, so I know that video was super complicated and many of you probably didn't follow now that I think about it. But the main idea here is to see me playing the roots, the thirds, and the fifths of the chords on all the good notes in the passing chords of the sequence of E minor, G major, and D major. And how we did that is we targeted the thirds on one string. So we played just the B string. We played all the thirds of the chords. And then we targeted only the fifths of the chords. And then we targeted only the roots of the chords. And then we went a little crazy by adding all the notes of E minor, but still landing on all the good notes of the passing chords in time. So I hope it was helpful. That's kind of like my 6-year journey on guitar. That's how you do it, man. That's how you get the expression out. You first have to nail being on time and on harmony, and then comes the creative, spiritual dimension of music. So I hope this video was helpful. Leave a comment, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. It's like I feel like the purpose of life is you have to create, and I think if I can do this, then I might as well share with other people, you know? So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Lots of love. I'll see you.